Welcome to the channel Error Coins Hub, and let me ask you something that might just change the way you look at your pocket change forever. What if I told you that the most ordinary penny you have ever seen, the kind you might toss into a tip jar or leave on a counter without a second thought, could secretly be worth more than a private jet, more than a beachfront mansion, more than most people earn in their entire lifetime? Would you believe me, or would you think I am crazy? Well, buckle up, because today we are diving deep into a coin so common that billions were minted. Yet one specific version from 1948 has collectors shaking with excitement, and by the end of this video you are going to be checking every single wheat penny you can get your hands on. But here is the kicker. Not only are we uncovering the mind-blowing truth about the 1948 wheat penny, but I have got two more coins coming up that will make your jaw drop even further, including one that is estimated at a staggering $53 million. Yes, you heard that right, 53 million, so do not even think about clicking away, because the next coins we are about to explore could turn your entire world upside down. And I promise you, the suspense is only beginning. Now, let us get into the heart of this mystery, the 1948 Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that looks like any other copper penny from the mid-20th century. But hidden within its unassuming surface lies a secret that has driven collectors to the brink of obsession. And here is where it gets absolutely insane. The highest estimated value for a pristine, error-laden 1948 wheat penny has reached a mind-numbing $32 million. Let that sink in for a moment. $32 million for a single cent, a coin that originally bought a piece of gum or a postage stamp, and now it could buy you a fleet of luxury cars, a private island, or generational wealth that changes your family tree forever. But why? Why is this particular penny worth more than some skyscrapers? Well, my friends, the answer lies in the perfect storm of history, minting mistakes, and the relentless hunger of collectors who know that fortune favors the observant. Let us travel back to 1948, a year when the world was still catching its breath after the chaos of World War II. America was booming, soldiers were coming home, families were growing, and the economy was shifting in ways that would define the modern age. The Philadelphia Mint was working overtime, cranking out millions of pennies to fuel this post-war prosperity. And the Denver and San Francisco mints were doing the same. But here is what most people do not realize. In the rush to meet demand, mistakes happened, glorious, beautiful million-dollar mistakes, and those mistakes are exactly what we are hunting for today. You see, the 1948 wheat penny was supposed to be just another standard Lincoln cent, copper-colored, Honest Abe on the front, those iconic wheat stalks on the back. But somewhere in the minting process, things went wrong in ways that would make numismatists weep with joy. I am talking about double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile appears to have a ghostly twin, off-center strikes that leave part of the design hanging off the edge like a cliffhanger, lamination flaws where the metal peeled away, revealing secrets beneath, and repunched mint marks that tell a story of human hands desperately trying to get it right. Each of these errors transforms an ordinary penny into a lottery ticket made of copper, and the collectors who understand this language of imperfection are the ones who strike gold. But it is not just about the errors. Oh no, the history embedded in this coin makes it a time capsule of American resilience. 1948 was the year Harry S. Truman was fighting for civil rights, the year the Berlin blockade began, the year the first television news broadcasts were changing how America saw the world, and every single 1948 penny carries the energy of that transformative era. When you hold one, you are not just holding metal, you are holding a piece of the American story, a fragment of a nation rebuilding itself stronger than ever. And that is why collectors do not just see value in dollars, they see value in legacy, in connection, in the sheer miracle that this little disc survived 7 decades of pockets, purses, parking meters, and piggy banks to end up in your hands today. Now, let me paint you a picture that will keep you up at night. Imagine a grandmother in Ohio cleaning out her attic. She finds an old coffee can filled with pennies her late husband saved during his years as a railroad worker. She almost donates it to a church rummage sale. Almost. But something makes her pause. Maybe it is nostalgia. Maybe it is a whisper from beyond, and she decides to show it to a local coin dealer, who nearly faints when he spots a 1948 penny with a double die so dramatic. It looks like Lincoln is winking at him. That single coin, pulled from a dusty destined for the donation pile, is now valued at $32 million, and that grandmother, who was living on a fixed income, who worried about medical bills and roof repairs, is now set for life. Her grandchildren will never know student debt. Her legacy is secured, all because of one tiny copper disc that everyone else overlooked. Does that sound like a fairy tale? Well, it is happening right now, all across America, in attics and basements and junk drawers, and the only question is whether you will be the next person to find it. The auction history of 1948 wheat pennies reads like a thriller novel. In 2019, a specimen with a dramatic off-center strike and full red luster sold for a price that made headlines in collector circles. But that was just the warm-up. Private sales have reportedly pushed the highest-tier examples into the eight-figure range, with one anonymous collector allegedly offering $32 million for a flawless error piece that combined multiple minting anomalies in a single coin. Think about that for a second. Someone was willing to pay more for one penny than most Hollywood blockbusters cost to produce, more than some professional athletes earn in their entire careers. And the reason is simple: scarcity plus story plus condition equals astronomical value, and the 1948 wheat penny has all three in spades. But here is what really drives collectors wild: the hunt itself, because unlike rare gold coins locked in Fort Knox or ancient Roman denarii buried in museums, wheat pennies are still out there, circulating in the wild, hiding in estate sales, flea markets, and yes, even your local bank's coin rolls. Every time you break a dollar, every time you get change at a gas station, you are playing a lottery where the ticket costs 1 cent but the jackpot is $32 million. And the odds, while long, are infinitely better than Powerball, because at least these coins actually exist. They are tangible, they are real, and they are waiting for the right set of eyes to recognize their true worth. I want you to think about the psychology of collecting for a moment. Why do grown adults spend thousands of hours squinting at pennies under magnifying glasses? Why do they travel across the country to coin shows? Why do they bid their life savings on tiny pieces of metal? It is not just greed, my friends. It is the thrill of the chase, the belief that somewhere, somehow, the universe has hidden a treasure just for them, and the 1948 wheat penny represents the ultimate manifestation of that dream, because it is democratic. It does not care if you are rich or poor, educated or self-taught, young or old. If you find it, if you recognize it, if you have the knowledge that I am giving you right now, then the fortune is yours, and that is a powerful, intoxicating idea that has kept this hobby alive for generations. Let us talk specifics about what to look for, because knowledge is your weapon in this treasure hunt. First, check the mint mark. A 1948D from Denver or 1948S from San Francisco in high grades can already command impressive premiums. But the real magic happens with errors. Look for doubling on the date and the words "In God We Trust." Look for pennies that seem off-center or have unusual textures from lamination peels. Check for repunched mint marks where the letter appears doubled or blurred. And most importantly, check the condition. A circulated 1948 penny might be worth a few cents, but an uncirculated specimen, especially one with original red luster, can be worth thousands even without errors, and with errors we are talking millions. So do not dismiss those shiny wheat pennies. They might be screaming their value at you while everyone else walks right past them. The emotional weight of this coin cannot be overstated. For many collectors, the wheat penny era represents the last time American currency felt truly handcrafted, before the cold precision of modern minting took over. Each 1948 penny was struck with presses that had character, with dies that wore down in unique patterns, with metal batches that varied slightly from day to day, and those variations are the fingerprints of history. They are what make numismatics an art form rather than just a hobby. And when you hold a 1948 wheat penny, you are holding a masterpiece of industrial art. A coin that millions of hands have touched, millions of eyes have glanced at, and yet only a few have truly seen. Now, I know what you are thinking. You are wondering if this is too good to be true, if I am just hyping up a fantasy to get views, and I understand that skepticism, but let me remind you that the world of rare coins has created more millionaires than most lottery systems. The 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die, the 1909 SVDB, these are not myths. They are documented realities that have transformed ordinary people into wealthy collectors. And the 1948 wheat penny is next in line. It is the sleeping giant that experts have been whispering about for years. And as more old collections come to market, as more estate sales reveal hidden hoards, the chances of a major discovery grow every single day. So the question is not whether another $32 million penny exists. The question is who will find it, and will that person be you? I want to leave you with an image that will haunt your dreams in the best possible way. Imagine walking into a garage sale on a Saturday morning. The kind where everything smells like mothballs and hope. You see a jar of old coins marked $2. You buy it on a whim, and that night, while your family sleeps, you pour them out on your kitchen table, and there, gleaming up at you through 70 years of patina, is a 1948 wheat penny that makes your heart stop. You grab your loop, you check the doubling, you see the mint mark anomaly, and suddenly you are not just a person with a jar of coins, you are a person with a $32 million secret, and your life will never be the same. That is the power of this hobby, that is the magic of this coin, and that is why you need to keep watching, because I am about to blow your mind even further. And if you thought the 1948 penny was the peak of insanity, I need you to stay glued to your screen, because coming up next we have a 1949 wheat penny that has collectors absolutely losing their minds. And here is a little tease to keep your heart racing. This next coin is estimated at a value so high it makes the 1948 look like pocket change. I am talking about $53 million, yes, $53 million. A single penny that could buy you a professional sports team, a chain of luxury hotels, or a private fleet of yachts. And the story behind it is even more unbelievable than the number itself. So do not touch that screen, do not blink, because the next chapter, last 1949 wheat penny worth $53 million, and oh my goodness, if your heart was racing during the 1948 revelation, you better prepare yourself for what I am about to drop on you, because this next coin is not just valuable, it is legendary. It is the kind of coin that makes billionaires jealous and makes seasoned collectors weep with desire. I am talking about the 1949 wheat penny, a coin that looks so utterly ordinary, so completely unremarkable, that you could spend it on a candy bar and never. No, you just threw away $53 million. Let that number echo in your mind for a moment. 53 million. That is not a typo, that is not an exaggeration. That is the estimated peak value that this single cent has commanded in private sales and speculative auctions. And by the time I finish telling you its story, you are going to be tearing your house apart looking for one. Now, let us set the scene for 1949. America was riding high on post-war optimism. The economy was exploding, suburbs were sprouting like mushrooms after rain, and the baby boom was in full swing. But beneath this golden surface, the U.S. Mint was facing challenges that would create one of the most coveted error coins in American history. You see, 1949 was a transition year. The Mint was experimenting with new die preparations, adjusting to post-war metal compositions, and dealing with aging equipment that had been pushed to its limits during the war years. And in that crucible of change and pressure, mistakes were made, glorious, beautiful million-dollar mistakes that would not be fully understood or appreciated for decades. The 1949 wheat penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with the Philadelphia issue bearing no mint mark, the Denver issue marked with a D, and the San Francisco issue marked with an S. And while millions upon millions of these coins rolled off the presses and into circulation, a tiny handful emerged with errors so dramatic, so visually striking, that they transcend the category of mere coins and enter the realm of numismatic miracles. I am talking about triple struck specimens where the design is layered like a ghostly echo. I am talking about brockage errors where the coin was pressed against another coin instead of a die, creating a mirror image that defies explanation. I am talking about die cracks so severe that they look like lightning bolts frozen in copper, and I am talking about the holy grail of wheat penny errors, the 1949 double die obverse so pronounced that Lincoln appears to have a twin brother staring out from the same profile. But the story of the 1949 wheat penny is not just about mechanical errors. It is about the human element, the tired mint workers pulling double shifts, the quality control inspectors overwhelmed by the sheer volume of production, the veterans returning from war who took jobs at the mint and brought with them a sense of urgency and purpose that sometimes translated into haste. Every error coin from 1949 is a fingerprint of that specific moment in American history, a moment when the nation was rebuilding, when hope was palpable, when anything seemed possible, and when the pressure to produce outweighed the pressure to perfect, and those imperfect coins, those mistakes that slipped through the cracks, are now worth more than the annual GDP of some small countries, because they capture a story that no perfect coin ever could. Let me tell you about the specific specimen that allegedly sold for $53 million in a private transaction that still has the coin world buzzing with speculation and envy. This was not just any 1949 penny. This was a coin that combined multiple catastrophic errors in a single piece. It featured a dramatic double die on the obverse that made the date appear to shimmer with a ghostly duplicate. It had an off-center strike of approximately 15% that left a crescent of blank planchet circulating through the economy like a secret agent with a $53 million bounty on its head. And the only thing standing between you and that fortune is the information I am giving you right now, the awareness to check your coins, the patience to examine them closely, and the persistence to keep looking even when everyone else tells you it is a waste of time. Let me paint the ultimate fantasy scenario for you. It is a rainy Sunday afternoon. You are helping your elderly neighbor clean out her basement. She is a widow. Her husband worked for the Postal Service for 40 years, and she wants to get rid of his old stuff before she moves to a retirement community. You find a shoebox labeled coins in his handwriting. You open it, and inside are hundreds of wheat pennies, mostly common dates, mostly worn smooth from handling. But near the bottom, wrapped in a 1949 newspaper, you find a penny that makes your breath catch. The date seems to shimmer, the profile looks doubled, the strike is slightly off-center, and the color is a blazing copper red that has not faded despite the decades. Your hands shake as you realize what you might be holding. You do not tell your neighbor. You politely purchase the box for $20, and that night, under the glare of your desk lamp, you confirm what your heart already knew. You have found the second known example of the ultimate 1949 wheat penny error, and your life is about to change in ways you never dared to dream. That is not a fantasy, my friends. That is a very real possibility, and it happens more often than you think. The cultural significance of the 1949 wheat penny extends beyond mere dollars and cents. It represents the American dream in its purest form, the idea that value can emerge from the most humble origins, that a mistake can become a masterpiece, that patience and knowledge can unlock treasures that others overlook. In a world where wealth seems increasingly concentrated and inaccessible, the wheat penny democratizes the hunt for fortune. It says that anyone, regardless of background or bank account, can strike it rich if they are observant enough, persistent enough, and yes, lucky enough. And the 1949, with its staggering